Hi everyone, welcome to Voices of International. I'm Rosa, your host and an Erasmus student here at EFAP in Paris. This podcast is all about sharing our personal experiences and stories as we go ahead in living abroad and studying abroad. We aim to create a space for current and future students where they can feel understood, inspired, and as well prepared for what's going to happen. Thank you for listening and enjoy.
If you're studying abroad, I wanna hear your voice. I wanna hear your voice.
Today, we are gonna deep dive into our first impressions of Paris and the university. And today, I'm with some other special guests. I'm with my fellow colleagues and classmates, Zsuzsa, Guilherme, and the international officer coordinator, Paula. Could you guys introduce yourself?
Yes. Hi, I'm Zsuzsa. I'm 22 years old. I study in Hamburg, and here at EFAP, I'm an Erasmus student who is studying digital communication.
Hey guys, my name is Guilherme. I'm from Brazil. I'm not an Erasmus student because in Brazil we don't have Erasmus, so I'm an exchange student, and I study fashion communication here at EFAP. And I'm 22 years old. Yeah.
So, hi everyone, I'm Paula Martinez. I'm an international relations coordinator here at EFAP. But before that, I was an Erasmus student here in Paris as well.
It's so great because you can, I think, feel the same as us. So you can really understand what we are going through as Erasmus student and exchange student.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to ask you, what do you think about like living in Paris? How did you go? Like how is going your first week here mostly? What were your expectations before arriving here? I don't know, like expectation versus reality. Like just talk to me like about your feelings, your thoughts, about your life in general.
For me, I was very excited because it was my first time living abroad.
Okay.
So I was very excited, and I didn't really have high expectations because I didn't know what to think. I was just like, I'm just going to go into it and see if I like it or not, and what new experiences will come my way. And yeah, what I'm most excited about being here is meeting so many people from different countries.
Yeah.
Because, of course, I did have some international friends, but it was not as common. And now I have so many friends from so many different countries, and I think that's just great.
Yeah. I think it's the same for me, like it's also like it's huge, because I had some international friends. I have some international friends, but mostly are from like other parts of Europe. But even like coming from Brazil, like I didn't know anyone before. So it's good to have somebody, from somewhere else. So for you as well, like how does it feel? Like do you really feel like a difference between Brazil and here in France? Like how is it? How are you keeping up with living here?
Definitely there is a lot of differences. I think when we talk about Paris, for most people, me included, the expectations are always high because it's Paris. We watch in movies, we read in books. So yeah, it's so different. The food so different. People are so different. I feel also like fashion is so different in Brazil and here, and the way we our relationships are built here are so different than in Brazil. So yeah, has been a big change in my life since I got here.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes I think about like my life as a movie. So I feel like it's or like a book, and I'm like it's a new season, a new chapter of my life because everything is gonna change, like new characters, new plot, like everything changes, new settings. So can you walk us a little bit like through your first days here in Paris? So when did you arrive? What did you do on your first days? How did you feel about I don't know, like for me it was really wow, and it was really fast because I didn't really but still now I don't think I realized yet that I'm in Paris. So I feel like when I arrived I was like, oh my god, I'm here. I don't know, I can't believe I made it, a little bit. So how did you feel about it?
I think you were very stressed, no? Because
Yeah.
I remember you telling me that you just arrived like one day before
Yeah,
or in the
yeah,
night
like,
before
it
first
was-
day.
Was a huge situation. So I had this flight, and then the flight was cancelled, and I was supposed to arrive like 2 days before, but I arrived like I don't know, like 12 hours before our first
Yeah.
day. So it was a bit stressful, but I know, when you get out of the plane and you see the Eiffel Tower, you ate a croissant, you are already like, okay, I'm living the dream.
Yeah.
Of course, there are some like difficult parts
Yeah.
about Paris, and I mean, every big city has a lot of problems. I feel that it's not a problem, but like Paris is so walkable, and it is so different from Brazil. So I don't know. In my first week here, my feet literally said, "Hey, can you stop walking for like 10 minutes?" And
You didn't have the right shoes as well, maybe.
yeah, maybe. And also, yeah, talking about like our first day here, I think was so great. Like we got to meet each other. We
Yeah.
got to also come to EFAP and see the structure for the first time, and it was like so fun. Also, we had like a lot of activity on that day. Like we had this surprise that was the boat that was
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
that was like really fun. That's funny because I remember that I was walking with Lorena from Spain. That's a fellow student that's with us, and she said, "Oh, I'm so excited to like go on a ride with this boat," and like we didn't know we were like literally walking to the boat.
To the boat.
And yeah, it was so fun.
Yeah, true. I remember that as well, and it was like so amazing just like looking at the Eiffel Tower, because I think the boat tour, it was really nice. So just to give you more context on the first integration day here at EFAP, the international office organized for us a welcome in general, like with some information about the school and about just the general life in Paris. And then we had a surprise activity, which was a boat tour on the Seine. And it was amazing. Like for me, it was really amazing because we had the opportunity like to see everything. And I think it's one of those things that you have to do when you arrive in Paris. So it's like one of the greatest things. Yeah. So Paula, yeah, what did you think? Like, how do you feel also as, as a coordinator of the international office? What do you think about like when students arrive? What are your feelings? How, like, in general, just tell us about also for you, how does it feel to have the integration days, and to meet new students?
I mean, it's always very nice to meet new students. Of course, you have to bear in mind that it's new for you, but it's also new for us.
Yeah.
We are going to get to know you. We are going to see how you are, like if you're a nice group of students or not. This year we've been very lucky because they are amazing. So,
Thank you.
And, I mean, for us, integration days, they are very important because it's what's going to set the tone for your semester. Okay, we believe that, of course, it's very stressful to arrive in a new city where everything is so different. So it's very important for you to have the right information and to feel, of course, accompanied, so like that you have someone that you can rely on. If you have any problems, you can, of course, come to us. So yeah, also during the orientation days, we try not to give you that much information all at once. So because we know that everything is new, so we cannot really overwhelm you. But our aim for you is to get all the information that you need, and of course have fun and get to know each other. That's why we always take you to the Bateau Mouche, because we know that you love it.
Yeah.
Actually, we really like it too. It's a great way for us to get to know you outside the classroom. So we really like orientation days. It's very nice.
Yeah, I think it's so nice, and I think on the first day I talked with so many people. I think that's something to do. Like it's great just like to go and say, hello, I'm Rosa from Italy. I was really excited, like, because everybody is so happy and so grateful as well to like be here and have this opportunity of like studying at EFAP and studying in Paris, because like Paris is one of the greatest city in the world, I could say. So yeah, it was like huge, I think.
For me, it was as well. I was so excited, and I remember when I first, like the first day I came here, and I was a little bit late because I got stuck in the metro station because I forgot my stop, and then I was in a huge metro station, and there was so many, how do you say, exits, and I felt like I was walking exit and exit, and there was no way out. I was like, oh my god, when am I going to come out of here? And then everyone was already standing outside of the school, and I was like the last one walking in. And then I felt very welcomed as well. So I especially I really liked the campus tour. It was like a few days later, and we had like smaller groups where we had to explore the campus, and the people who won got like a French breakfast. We still didn't have the breakfast because of our bad organization skills, but it was very nice. Like it was nice because you were really stuck with the same 4 or 5 people for like 20 minutes, so you were really able to talk, and it was like a little bit more in depth. I really liked it.
Yeah. And I think it was nice as well to just walk around the campus and see everything, because the Raspail campus is full of art, and it's just like, it's amazing. Like every time I was like, there was, we had like a scavenger hunt, and there was a little game for bonus point to look at for like little men's that are all over the campus. Because they are like painting on the wall like everywhere, and it was so fun just like to look for them and just like, oh my god, take the pictures and wait to win. I didn't win, Zsuzsa won, so but yeah, that was good. So Paula, you moved from Spain to Paris as well as an international student yourself. And how did you feel at the time? So like, how did you feel when you were an Erasmus student as well?
Oof, I think the same way as you, I believe. Of course, I was very excited. The thing is that when I studied my degree in Spain, we knew that in third year we had to go. We had to go in Erasmus. It wasn't compulsory, but it was almost compulsory because all of my friends we went. I was very happy. I was very excited. Nevertheless, my before experience, I think, was very different from yours. Because my Erasmus destination was a very big university. It had nothing to do with EFAP. So, of course, I didn't have, for example, the pre-arrival meeting. When I arrived, because I arrived late, I had to do some exams in my home university. I didn't have a welcome session. I didn't have anything, and like the worst thing was that when I arrived, at least I had the chance to live in a student residence that was provided by the school. It was a public student residence. It's called the Cruz here in France. The thing is that no one told me that the Cruz, the welcome desk, they close at 6 p.m. and my flight arrived at 5:30, something like that. So when I arrived at the residence, there was no one there. So I didn't have a place to sleep.
Oh my god.
So I had to sleep in a hotel next to the residence, which was very convenient. But I remember that in my head, my first night in Paris, I was going to be in a very nice room with views to the Eiffel Tower, very good. Whereas like I was in a adequate hotel with views to a supermarket parking lot. So I was like, oh my god, what I'm doing here. But you know, after when I finally could settle in, I met some friends, some students. It was good. It was very nice. It was a very good experience. I stayed for a whole year, and you know, I went back to Spain, and then I came back.
And then you came back. I think it must be like hard as well, because I think every time you change something, everybody like expect it to be perfect, but it's normal that there's always like something happening, like for you the flight, for you now the
I didn't have a house.
So it was like kind of big. I think for me, like my first day, I arrived as well one day before the integration day, so I didn't really have the time to like elaborate everything, but I think that the first thing I did, I arrived at my apartment, I left my luggages, and I went to the Jardin du Luxembourg. And I just sat there, and I like took quiche in a boulangerie. So like for me, that was like the best. I remember like sitting in a little part in the Jardin du Luxembourg, where's the like a fountain, and I was like, oh my god, you know, like it was so surreal and so nice. The sun was out, everybody was like walking and smiling, and I was like, oh my god, I'm in a movie, you know. I felt like I was in Emily in Paris, maybe, you know. I don't know, it was like really whoa. But yeah, and then of course with the integration days, it was amazing. Yeah, you really like welcomed us, and I think that's really nice, because it's always overwhelming, because there's so many things going on, and it's hard, you know, like even with the fact that, of course, English is not our first language. Yeah. So there's a lot of things, French, which is even like harder. But yeah, there's a lot of things going on. So it's always nice to have someone that can support you. So yeah, thanks for that. Yeah, and I think that it's also what maybe is like the fact that you were an international student. I think that really helped you as well. Has your role now? Yeah? Yeah, I mean, you have to know that everyone in our international relations department, we have all lived abroad. Yeah. So we know what you're going through. And what I really like about my job is that I can help students get all the information that I didn't have when I was Erasmus, you know. For example, when I was Erasmus, as I said, I was lucky enough to get a place in a public student residence, which was good. But I have some friends that they didn't have any help with housing at all. So I know that finding apartments in Paris can be very chaotic. Yes. So of course, that's why we want to give you all the information that you can have and that you need in order for you to have your exchange the best way possible and stress the less possible as well. You're going to stress, of course, because it's part of the deal. Everyone stresses when there's a big change coming up, but our job is kind of to make it easier, like the transition better. Thank you. Yeah, I think you're really like making a good work, I will say. Thank you. We try. Yeah, no, but that's really good. You know, like I think, it really like helps everybody. You know, also the fact that now you're here as well. You know, that you're here to talk with us and explain also to the future our fellow students that will be here, like how does it really feel and what that you're really here. Yeah, and also the thing is that we can really understand what you're going through. So, for example, whenever we have a student that comes in our office very stressed out, very anxious, we're like, hey, don't worry. We know that it may seem like the end of the world now, but it's going to get better. And it usually is like that. At the beginning of your semesters, you are always very stressed. You have problems with the change of subjects. So, and we know what you're going through because we lived it. So we can really help you and be like, hey, we're going to get through this together, don't worry.
I feel that like the whole life situations in general, like you said, the subject in school, or even what Zsuzsa said about the metro, everything stressful, but like having the communication barrier makes everything even more stressful, you know. I feel that it's so hard when you want to like say something. You know exactly what you want to say, but you just can't because like in other language doesn't make sense. You know what you want to say. So I feel that's so like, I don't know, I feel that's a bit one of the hardest parts of being an international student. It's like, also there's the point that like it's hard to be yourself in another language in a like in a completely way, you know. Like sometimes I think like, guys, I'm so funny, I swear. You know, like my friends love me back in Brazil, they think I'm so funny, and here I can't be that funny, you know what I mean? But because of course I think it's also like maybe like a different kind of humor, like sometimes and you just like cannot like translate everything. But I think that's like he has his highs and lows as well for the languages, because of course the greatest thing about doing an experience abroad is like the fact that you are speaking another language and you can communicate with everyone, you know. Like it's really like opening. So it's all about like open-mindedness and really like you can talk with everybody. You like, and I also think another good thing is that we are living all the same thing right now.
Yes, it's very connecting because everyone is going through the same crisis or through the same excitement of being here. So I think that is something for all of the students who are coming to EFAP in the next few years, you're not going to be alone. Maybe in the first few days, you're going to feel lonely. I did as well. I just felt lonely, although I met so many people. And then the more time like goes by, you will see you'll stick together with everyone
Yeah.
because everyone else is in the same position. No one has friends in Paris. Usually, no one has family in Paris. So you're going to be your new, how do you say, like
Your new self with every.
yeah, or maybe like your new like you have like a new family because you
Yes,
can
yes,
really
yes.
like you
Yeah.
really experience that you can rely on people because
Yeah.
they can rely on you because everyone needs to rely on everyone because you can't rely on
Yeah.
everyone else. So I think it's a great experience that never will be like this again because no, like I think it's the only situation where you really like build a network like this because you just got no other chance or you like you can't do it any other way.
And I think that's one of the greatest things because you should really like talk with everybody. So like suggestion, like for the future Erasmus student, do not hesitate to go to somebody and say, even like just hello, nice to meet you, what do you study, like what do you do, just talk with everybody because everybody's in the same position. As you said, nobody has family, nobody has friends here, everybody is feeling like lost a little bit. So it's just the best thing is just like to talk and be open, I think.
Also, I think like you have to stick with the idea that everybody has the same goal in some way. Like everybody want to have friends, everybody want to have fun, everybody want to have a more like comfortable life here in Paris. So when you remember this, it's easier also to like be brave enough to talk to someone or to invite someone to go somewhere because
Yeah. And you have to bear in mind that I'm talking from experience. The friendships that you make while you're an Erasmus student or exchange student, they last forever.
Yeah.
Like really. For example, last year, I mean, no, this year, in March, I went to Mexico to a wedding, like to my friend's wedding, and I met her during my Erasmus. So, you know, I mean,
oh my
Yeah,
god,
that is very nice.
Yes, and so emotional, I think, as well. You know,
yeah, you're like, I mean, we met in Paris 7
Yeah.
years ago. Oh, now look where we are. Like, who would have told me that I would be in a city in the end of Mexico going to Americas? Like, why? You know, and I did it thanks to my Erasmus. So that's it. And also for us, it's very funny to see every time we have a new group of students pass by. It's very funny to see how you guys are keeping in touch with each other, what's going on. For example, this summer, I was going back home to Spain. And I always go to a little airport that's not very popular, you know.
Yeah.
And I was on the plane, and then suddenly I see one Portuguese student, old exchange Portuguese student, boarding my plane, and I'm like, what are you doing here? Yeah, and she told me, oh, hi, I didn't tell you, but we just had an international meetup with all the Erasmus students from our year, and they all met up again in Paris.
Wow.
So
That is so nice.
you know, that's
That is
nice.
something we should do.
Yeah.
I actually have a similar story to this. That's not my first year abroad. That's my
Okay.
second year abroad. My first year abroad, I was 16, and I made it like really amazing group of friends. And like since them, like this was 6-7 years ago, I've met them in Paris 2 years ago, in Barcelona a year ago. So yeah, that's so true. Like it's a different kind of friendship because I feel that when you are in your home country, it's not as intense as it is here, you know. And I feel this also has two sides because when you get mad with someone, you get really mad. But when when someone's your best friend, this person is not only your best friend; he's your family. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, that it's nice, you know, have those strong relationships here. So
Yeah.
Yeah, it's such like a nice bonding experience.
Yeah, because you can really relate to each other. And I think that is something that you truly can only feel when you're outside of your country and you don't have anyone else, as I just said before. But even I now think about it, maybe in 2 years we're going to talk about like how the experience was, and no one else can like relate to it as the people you were in it with.
exactly.
So I'm already excited about that.
Yeah, I'm really excited about like coming to Germany or
Yes.
you come to my place in Italy and everything. You know, like it must be like so nice, like meeting each other everywhere in the world. You know, so
It seems like the world gets. Word is a hard word, too. to speak, right? And
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
it seems the world gets smaller, you know, after
Yeah.
experience like this.
Yes,
That is so
true.
true.
And
That
I
is
think
so
you
true.
learn a lot about new cultures as well, not just like French culture, but also like making friends from different type of parts. Like we have like some Taiwanese friends, and I didn't really know anything about Taiwanese culture, and now I know a lot, and I'm like, wow, that's so cool and so like different and so great, just to like really like understand how other lives work, like how like this world is so big as well.
Yeah.
So big but so small, as you said, because of course we are all in it together. So
Very true.
yeah, so that's really nice. And I wanted to ask you, like, what do you think it's your first memory of your first week in Paris? Yeah, nice question. Yeah,
I think
put you on
I
the-
think I know mine.
Okay,
Meeting me?
Yes, probably. But my second memory is like, I mean, before arriving here, I didn't understood about like locations in Paris, like a Rue de Seine or whatever.
Yeah.
So when I arrived in my apartment, I wasn't expecting, but when I look, like, I can see the tower for my apartment in the first day. So this was like, I really like, I don't know,
Yeah.
it's something that I will remember forever. Like just getting out of my apartment and looking at the tower and be like, okay, now I'm in Paris. you know,
Yeah,
like-
yeah. I think for me was the boat tour. I loved it. Just like to look at the Eiffel Tower and just everywhere on the Seine. I was like, you know, it's real. Yeah, so I think that was one of the greatest. But also, I think we had like a coffee together, and we just like get to know each other better and talk. And I think that's such a nice memory as well.
Yeah, that is true. We went to the
Jardin du Luxembourg as well.
Yeah, and got something to eat, and we just sat there, and we started like it was a little bit colder that week, and we just sat there and we were like, oh, we're here. Wow. And for me as well, the boat tour, because I just remember I was sitting there and I saw like so many students. I think this year we were like 120 people who study either at EFAP or ECART, and everyone was like there, and I was like, I don't know, it was just so beautiful to sit on the boat, see the water, see the Seine, see the Eiffel Tower and the buildings, and then to see how many people are experiencing the same thing and probably feeling very similar emotions.
Yeah.
And I talked to so many people that I'm now very close friends with as well. So it's like interesting how, because I didn't think that in the first days that you're going to find people that you're going to be so involved with, like in the next few months.
Also, something like that I remember about the boat tour that was special was that the Paralympics was still happening.
Yes.
And I remember that like we were in the boat, and like a lot of people around us just saying like, hi, hello. It was a sunny day, you know. It looked like Paris was somehow welcoming us, you know.
Yes.
And it was fun.
That's true as well.
Yeah, true.
Do you have a memory as well?
I don't know. No, yeah, I have. I mean, it wasn't that long ago, okay? No, yeah, I have a lot. But I mean, for me, I mean, when I arrived and I didn't have a house, I was like,
Yeah.
okay, well. And I remember standing in like my residence lobby and being like, okay, there's a hotel next door. Mom, look. And I remember going into the hotel, and I mean, I was very anxious, but at the same time, I was thinking, I mean, I cannot do anything else, so let's just go for it. This is a very difficult first night, but I can just go through it. Yeah. So I did, and I remember the breakfast that I had. It was quite fun. And then, it was, I mean, it was a hard time at the moment, but now I look back at it and I laugh.
Yeah.
So, I mean, because it's a whole situation that makes the experience even funnier and nicer. So, nobody was good.
Yeah, I think that's the greatest thing, because even like the lows, like the moments when we don't really feel good. Yeah, already now, like when I think about the moments where I had like something happening with my housing or with something else, I was like, oh my God, I was like, at the moment I was like, oh my God, my Erasmus is so bad. Like, also because I feel like I'm over dramatic. But now I'm like, it was something like so fun, like such weird story. So yeah. But we will have plenty of time to just like deep dive everything during this podcast. That's why we really wanted to create a space for every like future student or for everyone to really like understand how does it really feel to be an exchange student. So now just to like sum up a little bit the episode and have like I have a fun game. Some fire questions for you, so I'm gonna ask you. Okay, one word for your arrival moment. One word. Ha ha ha. Yeah. I think for me, it's. I don't know. I think it's fine. For me, it was like maybe peaceful.
For me, it was the excitement.
Okay.
I will say chaotic.
Yeah.
And for me, I would say, I want to say panic.
Yeah.
Yeah, excitement as well.
Yeah. Okay, the first word you learned in French? Voilà. For me, it's voilà. I don't know, I love voilà. I feel like it's so voilà. You know, like voilà. Or I really love coucou as well.
Oh,
It's
coucou is very cute.
Coucou.
Yeah. Bisous.
Bisous. Yeah. Or just bonjour.
Yeah, for me it was a sentence.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was pardon. Je ne parle français. But a word I think would be probably bonjour.
Bonjour.
Or-
Yes.
Yes, I understand that. And this is another interesting question. Your ideal soundtrack, like song, for a night in Paris.
For a night.
A night in Paris.
Um,
It can be like a fun night or a romantic night or a chill night.
I know. Night Call.
Night call?
Okay.
Yes, I'm obsessed with the song ever since the Olympia, the Olympia thing from Angel.
yeah.
Yes, I don't know why, but it's for me. I think it's my Paris song. Like when I come back to
Yeah.
Germany, like maybe in a few years, I'm going to listen to it, and I'm like, this was the time I was in Paris.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for me, for the night, it's gonna be like Sparks by Coldplay, because it's all like about the lights of Paris, you know, like the city of lights. You know, I was just looking at the Eiffel Tower, like lighting up, and I was like, oh my god, like with this song, I wanted to cry. You know, I was like so emotional. Yeah.
For me, it's one called Lost Paradise
Ooh.
from Gal Costa,
Okay.
a Brazilian singer. I really like her.
I mean, my Erasmus song definitely was from Calvin Harris. It was called "How Deep Is Your Love."
Oh my
Yes,
god!
of
yes.
course. But if I had to, like a night in Paris, there's this famous French song. It's very old, and I discovered it watching a TV show, French TV show, and the song is called "C'est extra," so it's extra, and the singer is Léo Ferré. And it's very it's a very good song. I think sometimes when I'm walking back home, I put it on, and it's nice. So now you can listen to it.
Yes.
Okay, and just last question, really quick: croissant or pain au chocolat?
Croissant.
Croissant, definitely.
Croissant.
Oh my god, I'm going with pain au chocolat.
No.
Yeah.
No,
Yes, I
croissant.
love pain au chocolat.
But have you guys tried chouquette?
Chouquette.
Yeah.
What's that?
It's a very typical French pastry, but the thing is, I don't think we give them the credit it deserves. It's very good. It's like this size, and it's like fluffy, but in the inside it's hollow, so it's very sweet, and at the same time it's very light. So you can never eat only one, because you eat one and then you're eating 7.
But is it the one that sometimes it gets given to us students?
Yes.
Oh my god, I love it.
They are
It
so
is
good.
so good. We tried some in the boulangerie, and they were not good. But here, it was amazing. Oh my god, I remember I was standing there like.
They are so good. So if you want to have like really good ones, you need to go at the beginning of the day, because usually they only make them at the beginning, so you can have them in the morning, and they are so good.
Okay.
They're my favorite ones.
I'll try. What's the name again?
Shuket.
Okay, perfect. To try. So in the next episode, maybe we'll see if we try. Like I've never tried it, so maybe we will give our thoughts about it. Okay, so thank you for coming. Of course, thank you for being our guest, and of course, Paula, thank you so much for all your help and just for welcoming us, because it was an amazing welcoming. So thank you for listening. Remember to subscribe to to Voices of and to listen to Voices of Internationals. And thank you very much. And we will see you for the next episode, I think.
Bye.
If you're studying abroad, I